when you think about what this space is going to be in 30, 40 years, it's going to be mind-boggling. I think BCI will be in the trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion space. And I think the concept that's always excited me about BCI is it's how do you create the path to get to massive humanity impact? There's this amazing impact you're going to have in the next 10 years on getting individuals who've lost the ability to speak, getting individuals who've lost the ability to walk and move through exoskeleton, BCI-driven actions. And that's going to fund some amazing stuff if we just fast forward 30, 40, 50 years where we can push massive computation ability or AI ability into the brain. The implications are massive. We might be able to figure out if God exists in seconds. We might be able to travel faster than the speed of light. The things that we can figure out when you combine compute and brain are going to be, I think, 100x more powerful than if compute is separate from the brain. What's after brain to speech for Paradromics?
For us, I see tackling mental illness. And what I mean by that is the same kind of device that can read out whether you're trying to speak or whether you're trying to move a robotic hand can also read out whether you are depressed or whether you're experiencing pain. Even something like whether a person's having a hallucination. Right now, without the ability to look into their brain, the only way we know if they're having a hallucination is if they tell us or if they act in a way that leads us to believe they're having a hallucination. But a brain-computer interface can read out sensory representations. So a brain-computer interface can read out sounds. It can read out the representation of speech in the superior temporal gyrus. The brain-computer interface can read out like what you're hearing, what you're seeing. And if that's not consistent with what's going on in the external world, then you can have a real objective and real-time readout about whether someone is hallucinating. And so BCI is going to be able to expose mental data for diagnostics in the same kind of way that continuous glucose monitors made glucose data available in real time to people's phones. And so the continuous glucose monitors don't treat diabetes, but they change the treatment of diabetes. And now they became so useful that even people who are just health nuts that want to know their blood sugar when they're in the gym get a continuous glucose monitor because it helps them manage their own metabolism. That's going to happen with brain-computer interfaces because people will want to know, hey, what medicines are actually working for me to tackle my bipolar disorder, rather than just being told, coming into a doctor who has a checklist and they say, take this drug, and then you go off for several weeks and then you come back and the doctor like asks you the same questions and has a checklist. Like, what if you could take a drug and within, a week, you know whether the drug is working or not because you have a week's worth of real-time brain recordings that are objectively assessing whether or not there's a mechanism of action, and then directing you based on those recordings to a different medication. Or when you find the one that works, instead of just taking it every morning in the dosage that you're told, the brain-computer interface tells you, hey, take one red pill and one small blue pill. And, oh, by the way, like, I know that you wouldn't normally take your medication right now, but I can sense that you need to take another small blue pill. Like, it would totally change the paradigm for neuropsychiatry because instead of being squishy and subjective, it would suddenly become objective and data-driven.
Interesting. What's next after that?
Well, first of all, that's why Morgan Stanley report recently came out and said that the initial market for BCI is going to be a $400 billion market.